And so I'm willing to bet that most people listening would have assumed that you would have said Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two largest. Between the two of them, they control what, 85% of the market cap in crypto. So talk about why you chose Hash and XRP, Ripple, as opposed to the big known brands of Bitcoin and Ethereum.
One, I'm here for ROI. The other ones have already seen their adoption curve. There's a lot of people that have already seen Bitcoin, got in early, done really well. And both of those, are established blue chips in the space. I don't think they're going anywhere. They are, in my mind, more of a Alta Vista or a Napster to Google or Spotify. Early stage, first movers, large amounts of adoption, disruption in the space. But over the duration, I believe that there are going to be other networks that are adopted at scale and actually surpass those in market cap. Total today for crypto is around $3 trillion. We're, 1/5 of gold for the total asset class. And that doesn't even mean that there's $3 trillion worth of liquidity in it. It's far less than that for what's actually liquid and can be moved around. So all that to say, we're still very early. So I do think here in 2026, there's an opportunity for a Cambrian explosion, and there'll be certain applications for these assets where they're used at scale and see large amounts of liquidity move into them in order to be able to facilitate the value transfer that they're actually meant to be used for. Like the whole point of developing these protocols and the tokens themselves were so that they would be used. And supply and demand dynamics, when those things play out and that stuff is implemented, I think will drive XRP's price substantially higher. And it would end up being likely the number one market cap and most used token over the long term. And that's my thesis. Again, I'm just one guy. There's a lot of people out there that I hold in high regard that would disagree with that statement. Hash, the reason that I put money in that, so full transparency, I made a large amount of money in crypto in 20 and 21. And some of the same characteristics on a few of the tokens that I got in early are very similar to Hash. So it's not listed on major exchanges. You wouldn't be able to hold it in institutional custody. You would have to hold it on an exchange or a cold wallet. And it's not listed very many places. So the liquidity in it's low. Figure Markets, you guys may know who that is. They just went public here in late 2025. They're rolling up mortgage-backed securities and they're doing it on chain on Provenance. There's also about $450 million worth of whole life insurance that's been tokenized on Provenance. Provenance's native token is Hash. And so in my mind, all right, these are real world applications that are driving value and demand for this network and the token. And that token is going to be used to facilitate value transfer on the network. All those things culminate to me thinking, all right, this is worth taking a position in while it's less than 3 pennies. And if it works out, some of the stuff did for me in 20 and 21, it'll be very lucrative. But that's about 1% of my portfolio. 99% of my portfolio is XRP.